Hey guys, Chain Vapor here. I'm going to do a quick little build tutorial. It's not really a tutorial, just kind of a show and tell, building a Billow V3 Plus. I wanted to show you guys this tank. It's the Billow V3 Plus. I have it on a Rouleau DNA 200. I use some ribbon wire, but I'll show you in the close-up. Turn the juice flow on this sucker. Okay. So let's go down and dive deep inside here, and we'll check it out and show you guys how to build coils for it, put the coils in, shape the coils, and wick this baby. And hopefully you'll have good luck with it. I know I have. I do prefer the RTAs these days, but this is probably the best RTA that I own. That being said, let's go down and check it out. Alright guys, as you can see, I have taken the two coils out that were in here. This is the Billow V3 Plus. Okay. The Billow V3 Plus has is dual coil. It works. It's a really nice RTA. It's the nicest RTA that I own as far as I'm concerned. This is the Plus, of course, so it's 25 millimeter in diameter. Has a really nice big build deck, some huge airflow holes right there that you see. Okay, and I'm going to build this for you and show you how to wick it. So first, I'm going to get some wire to use to build my coils, and what I'm going to use is some pre-made wire that I've gotten from, turn that over so you can read it. This is called Alien Clampton, but it's really not. Okay, so it's flat ribbon wire wrapped in 32 gauge Kanthal. It's all Kanthal wire. None of this is special stainless, nothing like that. I've given up on temperature control. I just don't like it. I can't get warm enough vape from it without having issues all the time, so I gave up on it. I like just using regular Kanthal wire. So here is two wires out of that thing. By the by, if you want these, 101 Vape carries them, and they're I believe it's like $3.99 for a 10-pack of coil wires. I think they carry some pre-built coils as well, but I just like the wire so I can make my own coils out of it. So there's that. Let's get a 3mm screwdriver. So I have this little screwdriver set, works really nice. If you're looking for a set, if you find one of these cheap sets, the nice thing I like about this is it gives me my sizes over here. Okay, so I'm going to use a 3mm because I want to make a big coil. This Plus actually works really good with 3mm coils in it. So there you go. We're going to use 3mm. I'm going to wrap these wires around here. Okay. Alright guys, there's the 4-wrap ribbon wire. One thing I like to do is take some needle nose pliers, and I like to pull on this wire a little bit to tighten it on the screwdriver to make sure the coil's tight. And usually when you do that, you'll see it springs out just a little bit, so I just have to wrap it just a little bit farther to get them even, like so. And there's one. Okay, so there you go. There's one 4-wrap coil, and then there's the other 4-wrap coil. Okay, we're going to put them in the billow. Now this billow is actually really nice. It uses the big Allen side. You see those two sides to that Allen screw? There's a big and a small. It uses the big ones, which is nice because they don't strip as easy as the small ones do. Which, if anybody's built any of these, you know how easy that is to do. So make sure those are loose. And take this and put it in here. So there's one. clip those other two leads off. And there you have it. Okay, now the next question is, do you want microcoil or do you want standard coils? Now these are standard, they're not pushed together. I would say for this particular build I'm going to want to push those together because the airflow is here and I'm sticking out both sides of the airflow pretty far. So I'm going to have a hard time getting my wick down in there without my wick sticking out too far off the side for me to get it into the tank section, which is this section. Okay, this has to go over the top of everything. So instead of fighting with it, let's squeeze those together, but let's heat it up to do that. So now, by the way, these are available at 101 Vape too. These nice little seats, they make a lot of sense. They make them very easy to use. I have a lot of them. Okay. So I put this on the old DNA 200, hit it and see what our ohms are. Our ohms are about 0.24, which is nice. It's only 11 watts right now, so we can turn that up a little bit. Okay, about 50 watts, and we'll see it fire and see how it looks. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to squeeze those together a little bit. Okay. This didn't quite go together the way I'd hoped, so we'll spread it out and try again here. Okay. That should work. It'll look real pretty on the one side, but it'll do the trick. It's still burning from inside to outside and they're pretty even, so we should be okay. Don't forget that pretty coils aren't necessarily the best. You're just looking for even burn on both sides and to make sure they're glowing at the same time. Alright. Now we can start wicking this thing and see what we can get it to do here. This and then also positioning them, trying to position them so they're at least somewhat even up and down this way. You can see they're pretty even now. They weren't before. I had to even them up a little bit. And then you're going to want to, I'm going to turn this up a little bit more because I want it to glow faster so I can just kind of see it. So we want to see if it's glowing evenly. Oh yeah. Now, wicking this particular tank isn't very hard, but it's you have to have it right or you'll either get leaks or it won't wick right. So let's get some cotton and get her wicked up correctly. Japanese cotton, regular pair of scissors, nothing special. I like the Kojendo cotton. I've been using it for over a year and it's pretty much my favorite wicking material. So now you don't want your wicks to be obscenely large. I should move this over, this in front of the camera. But you don't want them to be too small either, because those are 3mm ID coils, so they're going to take some cotton to fill them up with. Okay. So twist the end up really good. That feels good. The other one. Everybody has different wicking methods and how they like to wick their tanks, so mine may be different than yours, and yours may work just fine. Nobody's, there's a lot of different ways of doing wicking that works, but I got both those wicks run right through the whole thing. Okay. Now what I like to do is take a pair of tweezers. I can get my tweezers out here. I like to take a pair of tweezers and grab the ends and shove them through the hole. All I got to do really is just cut it off pretty much to the outside of the tank. Okay, get that off, and you may even want to trim it just a little bit more, just to make sure you got it trimmed up nice. Okay. Again, I'm putting the scissors against the outside of the tank, so that gives you an idea of length. So now all those have been cut so they're even with the outside of the tank. Okay, the outside of the tank. So that's how they've been cut. Okay. Turn that light off, make it a little easier to see probably. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this 1.8mm screwdriver is I'm just going to lift up these sides just a little bit. Push them in, fluff them, and I'm going to push the cotton back through the hole. I'm going to fluff all this up a little bit so nothing's real tight. Okay, you want to make sure there's some space in that hole. You don't want that hole to be tight with cotton, or you'll choke off your juice flow. So we're going to lift this up a little bit, stuff this in, stuff it in the side right there, and then we're just going to lift it a little bit and fluff it. Fluff, fluff, fluff. You want it to be nice and fluffy, nothing too tight. Okay, if it's too tight, it'll choke. Again, we're going to do that over on this side. I'm just going to lift that up, push it in there, fluff it up a little bit. Okay, do the same thing over here. Pull it up out of the hole a little bit, and then push it in the hole, and then fluff it up a little bit. Okay. So what you're really looking for is that cotton to be only about half filled that hole. You don't want it to really fill that hole really good, or you won't get juice flow enough for it. Okay, and everything I'm vaping in here is about 80 to max VG to 80 VG, and it wicks pretty well. Okay, so there's our wicks. Alright, let's juice her up. I think I'm going to juice this up with some... What do I want to put in here, guys? We'll use some batter up. How about some batter up? Max sauce. Okay. We'll use some batter up. So we're going to juice this up real good. I put a little juice in the holes. Okay. And we will work that cotton a little bit more after we get it juiced up before we put the thing together. Alright guys, now we'll turn this back up a little bit so we can get it to hit up good. I like these coils about 55 watts is where I usually vape these at. Nice. That's pretty even. Looks like it's pretty even on both sides. That's nice. Alright guys, now the last thing I do once I get it juiced up is I kind of just push these cotton in just a little bit in the corners here. I like them to be up above the coil just a little on the one side. It actually works out pretty good. If you look, you can see how that cotton is actually up above the coil right here. You can push them all up like that if you want. It works pretty good, but really the main thing is you just want to get that cotton pushed in so it's inside the round area where you're going to put the cap on, so it doesn't get hit by the cap when you put it on. Okay, so we're going to push that in a little bit against the side. Again, we want to make sure it's nice and fluffy down there, and there's still plenty of area for the fluid to get through. You don't want it too tight. Okay, fluff this up a little bit, push it in. And again, the main thing is you want it in towards the center, so when you put the cap on, it doesn't hit the cotton. Okay. So now, let's put our tank section together. Okay. This cap, the O-ring goes on the cap, like so. The tank section fits on this O-ring that's got a step in it, so the tank section can just clamp on there, okay? And what you want to do is just put just a tiny bit of some liquid on there, whether it's e-liquid or some VG. I happen to have some pure VG here that I use in this case, and I'll just take a little dab and put it on there. Okay. What this does is it just helps to seat that thing so it seats a little nicer. It'll make it easier to get it apart later, and it'll make it seal better. Okay. So again, now we'll take the tank section, put that on. Okay. And you just want to make sure that you didn't push that seal down around there. You want to make sure it's up the glass. Okay. As you can see right now, it is. I haven't pushed it down at all. It looks pretty good. So we're good there. Now the other side of the tank section goes and just screws right on there. Okay. And this one does have an O-ring as well, but it's smaller and it's at the bottom there. You can see it down at the bottom of that rim. That seals down the glass. Okay. The tank section is ready to go on. So let's do that part. Okay. So we got our tank section on. Now we're going to fill this sucker, and the way to fill it is just pull up on the top of it, and it pulls up, and then you have a little slot right there that you can fill up your tank with. Pretty full. Put this back down, just snaps back down in place. Okay. And we're going to put the drip tip on. There you go, we're ready to vapor. Alright guys, Billow V3 Plus. Alright guys, we're back up top, and it's 55 watts, as I said before, is what I usually vape these at. I opened the juice flow all the way open. I got the airflow wide open. Ridiculous clouds, okay? And that's that ribbon wire. Again, it's about 0.24 to 0.25 ohms with dual 4-rep coils around a 3mm screwdriver. It vapes really nice. It's smooth. It's got really good flavor. And like I said, the wicking is the biggest part. If you wick it right and juice flows good, you'll have excellent flavor and vapor for days. But again, I only vape this at 55 watts. I think people that are trying to hit them too hard or too hot are going to have problems with burning, because you still have a closed chamber system. This is an RTA, not an RDTA. So it's still just a tank atomizer, and it still has to get enough juice to keep the coils wet. Temperature control might work good with something like this. I don't use temperature control. I tried it and have used it with titanium and stainless, and I just am not a fan. There's too much tweaking involved, and I'm not that patient of a person. So I like the Kanthal builds. As you can see, it has nice smooth airflow. You can hear it. It's very smooth, no whistling. If you want more flavor, if you decide you want a little more flavor, you can always turn down the air. I haven't really done this much. Let's turn on the airflow to about a quarter. Let's turn the wattage down. I'm going to vapor at 40 watts, okay? And we'll see what it tastes like. I don't really notice a whole lot of difference in flavor. Flavor's good wide open. Let's turn it down to 35 watts. A little less heat. As you can see, it's still putting out plenty of vapor, and the flavor's good, but I really prefer it wide open. I'm going to turn that airflow back wide open and turn it back up to 55 watts. That's where I really like to run it at. Now, like I said before, the juice flow is the most important thing on this. I got the juice flow wide open, and I have not had a whole lot of problems with leaks. It seeps a little bit at the top where you fill it, and it does seep sometimes down here at the very bottom where the juice flow control is. But it's very, very minute. Not enough to really make me say it's a con for this particular tank, because it vapes so good and it's so easy to fill. It really does make me believe that I can deal with just a little bit of seepage. It doesn't really bother me at all. It's like I said, it's very minor. Just a quick wipe around once in a great while, probably once, maybe once after you fill it, maybe twice throughout the day. You may have to wipe it down a little bit, but like I said, it's very minor. But there you have it. Billow V3 Plus.